The stakes are high. Several aging tycoons across India have either passed on the baton to the next generation or are in the process of doing so. But it raises one question, and it has been asked time and again. Do the children of industry tycoons have the same business acumen and leadership quality? Can they steer the companies as efficiently? And isn't it against the norm on separation of companies' ownership and management? Let us explore. This week, Asia's richest man, Mukesh Ambani, set in motion his succession plan. After going through a bitter succession battle with his younger brother over a decade ago, which was decided in the country's apex court, Mukesh obviously didn't want to take any chance. On Tuesday, Mukesh Ambani stepped down from the board, paving the way for his eldest son, 30-year-old Akash Ambani, to become the chairman of Reliance Jio Infocom, the country's top wireless carrier. Akash's twin sister, Isha, has already been at the helm of the group's consumer-facing unit, Reliance Retail Ventures Limited, for the last several years, while the third son, Anant Ambani, is focusing on Reliance's new energy business. Shares of Reliance Industries soared by 2.5% soon after the succession announcement on Tuesday, a kind of green signal from the markets. Similarly, last month, Jamshed Godrej, the chairman of Godrej Group's flagship company, Godrej and Emami, appointed his niece Nairika Holkar as his successor. Holkar, who is the daughter of Jamshed's sister, Smita and Vijay Krishna, is an executive director who has been managing strategy, M&A, brand and legal affairs at the company. In 2017, Jamshed's cousin Adi Godrej's son Piroj Shah took over as chairman of Godrej Properties, replacing his father, while his younger daughter Nisaba was appointed the chairperson of Godrej Consumer Products. In February this year, Kolkata-based FMCG company Emami's founders R.S. Agarwal and R.S. Goenka stepped down from their executive positions. Agarwal's son Harsha was named vice chairman cum managing director, while Goenka's son Mohan was designated vice chairman cum whole-time director. Meanwhile, in the IT sector, two companies where leadership succession took a family-first approach are Wipro and HCL Technologies. Azim Premji's son Rishad was appointed as executive chairman of Wipro in 2019. Azim Premji continues on the board as a non-executive director and founder chairman. The first woman chairperson to lead a listed Indian IT company, Roshni Nadar Malhotra, took over the reins of HCL Technologies from her father Shiv Nadar in 2020. Down south, Venu Srinivasan's son, Sudarshan Venu, was elevated as the MD of TVS Motor Company in May, while Srinivasan's daughter, Lakshmi Venu, was made MD of another TVS Group company, Sundaram Clayton. While in all the above cases, the next generation leaders went through a systematic grooming process, one can also notice that family membership takes precedence when it comes to selecting a management successor. But is it always the best way forward for family-owned businesses? An experiment by Dabur's Burman family more than 2 decades ago paid off handsomely. Dabur India professionalized the company in 1998 when its promoter family decided to hand over executive positions to outside professionals. Today, the family has just 4 representatives on the company's 15-member board in non-executive roles. According to Kavil Ramachandran, a professor at the Indian School of Business, historically, both the chairman and managing director or CEO positions have been reserved for members of the business families.
I don't think there's one answer that fits all situations because every situation is different. The second generation of many families is extremely highly educated, has got a huge amount of relevant business experience before they join their own businesses, and are very quick to learn and have a fantastic background. And in such circumstances, a family-based succession is very appropriate and very good, as we have seen in the case of Reliance, or in the case of the Goenkas, or in the case of other families which have the TVS family, for example. All of them have got, or the Godrej family, all of them have got excellent successors that were trained, and there was a plan behind it to make them the true inheritors. So in such cases, it works. But where it is happening only because of nepotism, it has grave seeds of self-destruction. And I think people are realizing increasingly that you don't want to destroy your own enterprise by short-term measures. The positions of chairperson and managing director should be separated. So whether it's a family-driven succession plan or it's an independent-driven succession plan, we're going to increasingly see a split between the two positions because the roles are so different from each other.
Meanwhile, SEBI's efforts to split the two roles for governance reasons have met with strong resistance. One key question is, even if the successors from these families are capable, are they the absolute best candidate for realizing shareholder value?
The Indian capitalism also has to mature. It has to mature to a point where a company does not belong to a family. The shareholder expects to get the best performance. And for the best performance, he wants the best person to take over the job. So if there is a nephew or a uncle or a son waiting in the wings, he should be in competition with an open field. The United States and Japan have made the leap to professionally managed companies. But they are European countries, of course, changing all the time. But Italy and France, I mentioned, that still have a strong bias for family management. So I don't think one can say whether it's West versus East. It's a question of development. And as I was saying earlier, that Indian capitalism only began after 1991. So we are very young.
What do you think is allowing the next generation of the promoter family to determine the destiny of the business the optimum solution?
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
सब अच्छी दिख रही हैं यार, कौन सी खरीदूं? ये तो वही बात हुई, 4000 शेयर्स लिस्टेड है, कौन सा लूं? वो तो सबसे आसान है। तुझे 5 पैसा नहीं पता?
अब तो सबको पता है। 5 पैसा पर है 4000 स्टॉक्स की रिसर्च, टेक्निकल टूल्स और इन्वेस्टमेंट आइडियाज। डाउनलोड 5 पैसा नाउ।
अब तो सबको पता है, investing made easy and rewarding with 5 paisa. Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.